Hello, everyone. This is Auto Asphyxiation. This is Lark.
And Kimberly.
And you know what? So apparently the power went out for like days and days, and people may have power again right now, or they may not. Some people in Glen Ridge, which is a ghetto, there's my God. Anyway, haven't had power in like 5 days. I'm sorry. Like you know what? I have friends that are in the ghetto. I have friends in Glen Ridge. Okay, it's not funny, but I know no one in Glenridge died. But I mean, to be serious though, to be like 100% serious, some people were harmed in the amazing heat wave, and then the power went out. What in the PSENG hell is this?
If my power went out, I'm gonna tell you, I would have straight up died in my apartment. Like, there's just no, like, I would have had to go down to like the lobby area with like my animals. Because it was already too hot in my apartment. So,
And according to scientists, not me, because I'm from California and we have Prop 13, so my education is not that good. But according to scientists, this is caused by humans. Right now, what is happening? This is a human instigated event. Was happening in England, France. People are apparently dying in France because they're drunk and then they don't. They're like, I'm hot, so I'm gonna drink. And apparently, they're like, you can't drink and be hot. Apparently, you die. I don't know. England super hot, New Jersey super hot. Like I was dying. I have my house is 100 years old,
as
and
is the house that I live in.
I only have one room that has air conditioning. And it's not. I'll tell you something. I've offered people money. They don't know how to fix it. So it's not that I don't have the money to fix it. No one knows how to fix, no one knows how to put central air into my house.
That's the problem with these older houses is that they're not really built to be retrofitted for central air like that.
And I guess apparently back in the day, it didn't have this kind of heat. Well, as I said,
No,
this is like this event. It said without the climate crisis, this wouldn't have happened. Without the climate crisis, this wouldn't have happened. And and this kind of goes into what we're talking about a little bit. um, it kind of goes into what we're talking about a little bit. And we had an incident on our discussion group, and these people from that climbed the Empire State Building.
yeah, they
Is
climb
that
the
it?
Empire State Building, yeah.
Yeah,
And
yeah. So
they
I yeah, now and I was like, oh wow, Kimberly, because Kimberly's from East Orange. I was like, East Orange is coming up. I'm from Los Angeles. I wasn't. I actually was. That was a real comment. Like, oh wow, it's cool. East Orange is like becoming like this place. And somebody was like, they're not really from East Orange. And I was like, what the? What does that mean? And then Kimberly was like, I'm from East Orange. And the person was like, well, you're probably from that fancy part of East Orange. He didn't say that.
no, but that's what he meant.
That what he meant. And I'll tell you something. I was like being my total LA self. I didn't understand what's happening. She's like, do you know what's happening? I'm like, he's asking where you're from.
Yeah, no, he was asking where I was from, like, and
Yeah.
that's totally fine, but no, I don't live in the fancy part of East
Yeah, yeah,
Orange.
yeah. No, no. She lives in like real East Orange, like naughty by
Yeah.
nature East Orange. Like, yeah, like, but I mean, the thing I think, you know what though? I want to say, like, you have never been like annoying about stuff. Never. I think the thing is also too, though, it's really weird is that what we've noticed is that if you're a woman, you can't move your neighbor. You can't leave from the neighborhood. You can't leave your neighborhood because if not, if you leave your neighborhood, you're like suspected. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? If you were married to like a fancy white man, a fancy white man with a PhD, and you were like redoing the house and you didn't have a job, like I don't think people would ask you questions, but because you're like you're a freelance white woman. I just made that up. You're
I
like
like that.
yeah, you're just out there. Or like people are like, what the hell are you doing there?
Yeah, no, I've had people stop their cars and be like, what are you doing here?"
Do you
Like,
need
"I
help?
live here."
Do you need help? And I mean, and I'll tell you something for me, being from Los Angeles and moving to New Jersey and moving to like suburbia, I really feel like I'll tell you something, and I don't want to seem like I'm conceited or anything like that, but when you're in LA and you're like pretty, it's an advantage. When I'm here, people think I'm trying to steal their husbands. Like I like people like hate me for no like they literally like I like when I go to suburbia, people hate me immediately. They're just like, oh, keep the husband away. I'm like, I got him here. That's how I'm here. I'm not gonna take your man. But I mean, either way, well, I think in a way sometimes you probably have the same issue. They're just trying like, yeah, like this is my chance. I've always wanted to date a redhead from
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
That's
yeah, oh yeah, yeah. Keep I don't know if you guys know this, but there's like a redhead fetish. And it's
yes.
across cultural groups. It's so weird. Like we're like two porn categories. Okay, I don't know.
Yay for us.
Yay for us. We need to have an OnlyFans for this channel. Okay, like that's not the point. We were being very serious right now. Because really, I think that's something that's really important is that, you know, guys can be frontiermen, entrepreneurs. They can be like this whole, women do not have freedom.
Passport bros. I also want
Exactly.
to bring up passport bros because like that fits in with the like the the digital nomads, the backpackers and things like that, like, but they're like specifically looking for wives abroad.
Exactly, because your job as a woman is to not really be, to be an accessory. So if you can't be an accessory, you can't just be like by yourself. You know, I think about, I kind of did some research and like, Virginia Woolf's a room of her own. Women are historically lacked not only rooms of their own, but the freedom of movement. And so when you're out there and you're not where you're supposed to be, like I'm not supposed to be in suburbia. And the thing I think is really funny is that we have we're in this weird situation where people think I'm where you are, and people think you're where I am. So it's like
Yes.
this weird situation. But we both have issues. We both have our own like sexist issues, regardless. So this is not just like it's a poor us, not poor one of us. It's poor both of us. We both have our issues, but they're just different. But they're both messed up. I'm trying not to curse as much.
And it's really funny to me too because, like I know what I look like when I walk around my neighborhood and I walk my little dog, like I'm very aware of it. But wherever I have lived in quote unquote bad neighborhoods. So I feel at home in places where a lot of people that look like me probably don't. And I feel uncomfortable in places where people who look like me feel very comfortable.
Well, I think also too because of your kind of like punk rock skinhead, and I want to be very clear, skinheads have a weird reputation, but skinheads started off as anti-racist, part of the whole like ska thing. I'm just putting that out there because I want to like oh
Yeah, of course.
yeah,
Of
because people
course.
don't know. People know what the hell that means. People don't know about the culture. They just hear kind of like country music. People didn't understand that country music was like outlaw music. Like it was like it wasn't. But the thing is that elite capture, even like hip hop. People now see that hip hop is reactionary. Hip hop from New York did not start off reactionary, but it became so. Okay, but we'll move on past that. But I think that this is the thing, Rebecca Solnit's Wanderlust, walking and wandering. That is something that men are able to do. Men are able to do these things. Women aren't supposed to exist. We're supposed to exist only for our husbands and for our children. So for those of us who don't have children, what are you doing? What are you doing? And also, too, you know, you're not viewed as legitimate, which I think is really interesting because the people that accuse you, not accuse you, some people have they're slightly shady, but I feel like I'm pretty good at like mitigating certain things. Like certain, I think because of how I am, certain things won't happen because people just know how I am, and I would be mad. So no one says certain things because they're like, oh, she would be mad. You're right, I would be mad. But I also think people don't say things to me because they know you would be mad. So it's like we both have each other's backs. Like, yes, like, yeah, we both like are like, yeah, we're both crazy. No,
In the
you
best
don't
possible way.
you don't want to start. You don't want to start shit you don't want to finish. Like the Green Party. That's NSPUSA. Anyway. I, no, I'm not kidding. That's real. But I think the thing is really important is like it's really weird how we're not allowed to leave neighborhoods. We're not allowed to be places, and we're not viewed. I know my point was. My point was it's so interesting that people who talk about us don't even live in the neighborhoods that they're talking about anymore. Like
Yeah.
you don't live in East Orange. You don't live in Bloomfield. You don't live in Montclair. You're not even in the state anymore. And why do you care about like when I first moved here, they're like, do you even own a house? And I was like, oh, okay, maybe this is just like a thing for New Jersey. But then I realized that there are people who are like running for office in my area and they didn't own a house and nobody cared about it. But I was like, oh, but they were white. I was like,
That's
I didn't get that. I didn't get it. It was because like I have to jump through these hoops because I'm not a human being. I'm not even saying like regards to like oh it's because I'm black. It's because I'm not viewed as human, so I'm not. But also like same thing with you. What are you doing? What have you done? Have you we know what has gone wrong in your life? Why are you not married with like 5 kids? Why are you not a trad wife? What have you done?
because I love my apartment and I love my alone time.
Yeah, it's like what kind of sinner are you? Like that's the whole thing. Men are they can be anywhere. I think it's so funny because like Chaz is from my husband's from Wisconsin, and everybody's just so freaking happy to see him. I'll tell you something. I love Ross Baraka. I love Newark. I love East Orange. I love I love like Black New Jersey. But I'll tell you something. Black New Jersey loves my husband more than they love me. I will go like if I go to something. Okay, I'm not even bringing up people's names, but if we go to something in Newark, when they see him, oh my god, thank you for coming out, thank you. And I'm just kind of like I am here, I'm here,
I'm standing right here, man.
and right here, you know. Um, and same thing with you. You're a white woman. They're like, what are you here? You're here to steal our men. Like I mean, I don't really know that. Like nobody actually done it to you. I actually have to say, Kimberly has never. She never says stuff like that. I want to be like very clear. She's like very cool. She never says. She never says any like anything shitty. Like in my entire time of knowing Kimberly, and I've known her now maybe like almost half a decade now. Like half a
Wow.
decade.
Yeah.
Yeah, half a
Yeah.
decade. Never said anything shady. Nothing. So that's like my little jokes are just me saying stuff about other people who said stuff. It had nothing to do with like actually something that actually happened to her. I mean, it might have happened to her, but she's never said anything. She's never gone like, oh, and then they don't
Nope.
accept me. She's never done that kind of like she's not that white lady. They don't like me and I don't understand why. Like that literally has never happened. And I wouldn't even have a problem with you saying that, but I like she's never done that. That's probably why I still like we through COVID did not drive me insane. I think I was like driving you insane more during COVID than you were driving me insane.
Oh, not at all. Actually, people in North Dakota were driving me far more insane.
Yeah, yeah. Well, but I think about like Baudelaire and the Flaneurs. Actually, Flaneurs is women, but Flaneur is the man version. It's a gentleman and observer that goes to the city. And I was gonna have I had this whole book concept, like the Black Flaneurs, and it was like people were very confused with it because it's like, how can you be a Flaneur just walking around free and French and walking, observing the city? Like you're supposed to be oppressed. Like I was like, remember that photo I put up of myself um in by Stonewall or no Little Islands in New York City. And
Yes.
underneath it, someone put a photo of the woman in DC that was surrounded by the white supremacists. I was like, no matter what I try to do, you guys always try to bring me down, right? Like, look, he's yes. Like I have a picture of myself happy, looking whatever, like, I'm beating the system. Somebody be like, but look at this black lady. That's
There's n-
kind of,
there's not a second, there's not like a singular moment for you to just experience joy without somebody being like, "But look here, look at this terrible thing that happened." Like,
you watch it, right? You see it. You see like I'll try to be happy and be like, oh, whatever, and they'll be like, but you're still black. Like it's
yeah,
I always get a variation of
don't
that.
forget.
Don't forget, you're still black and you still suck. You should really be trying to like save your people. And why do you have teeth? Why are all these things? Why do you seem so happy when? And I mean, I feel like in a way it's like this weird. I don't know if it's sadistic or masochistic type situation where people want me to be as miserable as possible. If I bring them anything happy, they gotta like make sure, like, oh, do you know this other black woman got killed like just the other day? Like, what's they gonna do with my post about eating dinner? Like, what?
They just can't, it's they people can't see that those moments of joy are revolutionary. Like existing and being happy in this moment in history and all the shit that is going on, that is revolutionary in and of itself. But no, people want you to be miserable.
Well, I think about like I think I always think about your one of your favorite quotes. The rebellion is built on hope. And I think that this is very important. I think disaster patriarchy wants you. It's kind of like with like Trump. Does Trump that is part is a perfect example of disaster patriarchy, where it's like just wants to like bombard you with every horrible thing, so you can't think, you think it's hopeless. It's kind of like all every day is some another insane thing, nightmare, and you have to literally fight against that because they want you to be upset, they want you to be miserable, and I think this is because this is how they want to trap women. I think about you know well, again, I think about the fact that like how men can like leave town and leave their little village and everybody's just like, oh wow, he went out there and he made it on his own. Oh look, and they'll give you a job. But like for us, it's so hard for us to continue to like, oh, well, you're not from here. Oh, don't you have someone to take care of you? Oh, don't you, it's just weird. I mean, you have a hard job. I mean, that's the whole thing. You do work, but I have to say, Kimberly, you're one of the few women I know that work. I mean, that have like they're able to get jobs because you do a hard job.
Yeah.
Most people can't do what you do. Nursing is a very hard job. And you have to like physically be able, not only physically, but mentally be able to do that. So if you just kind of wanted a job being like a secretary receptionist, there's so many times it's like it's very weird. Like, people are we were talking, I don't know if I was talking about this with you or someone else. We're talking about the trad wife, and I was saying, people are like, oh, these trad wives, they won't have, what's gonna happen to them when their husbands leave them. And I go, but there are no jobs. You guys are acting like there's all these jobs for women to have. I mean, this is a weird conversation, but I mean, outside of nursing and getting beat up as a teacher, what other job? Well, you get beat up as a nurse. What other
Oh
job?
yeah.
What other job do we have?
Those are the two really like women and femme-led industries that there's always work. Um but it gets harder and harder for people to be able to go to school for these things. It gets harder and harder for people to want to do these things because they are very difficult industries to work in. And you do still have that whole pay gap issue because I know men in the nursing industry that make more than their women counterparts. Why? Like most of when I talk about like staff nursing, like they're paid on a scale of like how many years you've been in nursing. Like that's usually how they negotiate the pay contracts and the pay scales. But the men always seem to make like just like maybe $1 more an hour.
Well, same thing with teaching. Like men teachers, whether it be preschool or K through 12, they make more. When men nurses make more money, which is kind of very interesting. And this is, this is a challenge, and this also has to do with the fact that, like, okay, the climate crisis. We were talking about, the heat and regards to, it being human driven, the Anthropocene. And I think about the fact that so many women have to live farther out because we get paid less money. So we're not by public transit. Like you said, like with you, you're not by public transit. So this is, so you're how, because that's, you can't afford to live by public transit because public transit, the housing costs more money. So
Yes, a lot more money.
yeah. So this sprawl, this exurb thing. This is something that a lot of, not just women who are married, women who are single by themselves, are unpartnered with children. They live out in these suburbs or exurbs because that's where they can afford to live. This is all, like, the sexism, racism, the climate crisis. These are all things, even war. These are all things that are connected, and people kind of like have this idea where they're like viewing it as like separate, and it's not separate. But also, I want to say your lipstick looks really good today. It's
Thank
like
you so much. Thank you so much. It's MAC Viva Glam Chapel Roan's Unnatural Redhead.
it looks really good. I was like, wow, that's really good.
I didn't get paid for that. I just really like the lipstick.
We got to figure out how to like get that. Like we got to figure out how to get one of those things in there. But I mean, it's for me. It's just really, when guys go out and do stuff like Elon Musk. He came from South Africa. He went to LA. Um, and it's like, oh, you're this trailblazer. But if you're a woman and you do the same thing and you're single, they're like, what did you do? What is your backstory? It is viewed as like, if you're a woman, you're viewed, if you're not attached, you're not where you're not in your hometown, then you're viewed as like some weird slut, or you're viewed as, not the thing, anything wrong with slut, but like
Well, let's go even like one step further. Like Elon Musk, has like how many baby mamas and how many babies, and that's perfectly acceptable. But like women are looked down upon if they want, like if they have children with several men, and it's like, well, what if a woman wants to spread her gene pool too? Like,
no, you're not allowed to do that. Unless you're not allowed. Only men are allowed to do that, and to be looking at sophisticated or whatever. Can you imagine a woman version of Elon Musk existing? And I'm not saying that. I'm not even saying I want that. I'm not saying, oh, I want a woman version of
that
Elon Musk. But I'm saying that person does not exist. That's not a thing.
no, and it wouldn't be a thing.
Yeah, and then it's I think about, like, this is all about like social control. It's like, if you're a woman and you get divorced, they make it so hard for you. If you have children, to make it hard for you. If you don't have children, they make it hard for you. I mean, and if you do anything outside of teaching or nursing, like we are, we're trying to do this media project, we're trying to like do like art. Essentially, if you're a woman and you don't want to be a mother, a teacher, or a nurse, it's like they'll try to kill you. Like literally, like we're surviving because I'm performing my wifely duty, and you're a nurse. Like literally, the only way we are allowed to do media projects is if we, on the other side, we're doing our womanly like jobs, which is
Yes.
like BS because you never see like men like in that situation. You could be a man just like, oh, here you have an idea, here's money. Here's like you could pitch an idea and here is money. I'm still very confused at the fact that the media projects that are funded in New Jersey, why I haven't gotten funded, why our project hasn't gotten funded yet. This is probably not helping. But it's just like I'm just kind of like how every Tuesday for a year and a half we have been talking about what has been going on in our communities. We've been talking about the power outages. We've been talking about politics. We've had people upset with us over interviewing politicians. We've been taking like real risk, but it's like we're women. And they're like, oh, we should only fund men because men that they're objective and neutral. You guys are wild and crazy. You don't even
And
have kids.
that to me, that's so wild to me because I really like, especially now that like this regime is in power and all of these mediocre milk toast white men are in power. We can really like look and see just how actually submissive men really are. Men need someone to tell them what to do. Men need to be either in authority or have a figure of authority over them telling them what to do because otherwise they do not know what to do. And that's really like they've been trying to make us submissive for how long?
And it's not working.
If we were meant to be submissive, then we would, if we were naturally submissive, then we would be naturally submissive.
No,
You wouldn't have to beat us into it.
exactly. It's just, this is the thing I think is so frustrating is that you have these women handmaids that like help that happen. They essentially are part of that whole system. I think about whether it be urban planning, whether it be media, who are the gatekeepers in regards to HR? Typically, they're women. And I don't like. I'm not no shade to you folks, but like, what is the point of? I don't care about your vagina. I care about if you're a feminist. I care about you if you're like a woman's woman, a girl's girl. Like it's so many people are so happily being tokens. And the thing is that in this Trump administration, they're gonna get rid of you. They think
Yeah.
like, oh, I'm going to protect it. You're not going to be protected because essentially you're the only woman there. And you think that once they don't need you anymore, they're going to get rid of you. I mean,
Yeah.
and this is something that racialized people have saw really early. And they've already gotten rid of racialized people and people who are women, who are white. A lot of them think like, oh, they won't get rid of me. They will. Historically, didn't they burn witches? I mean, they totally burned you. I mean, they set you on fire. You act like this is like not like a thing. Like literally, when I got my I have so many degrees. One of my degrees is in human development, and I researched early child care, early childhood education. They had two tracks of education, one for the poor kids, and essentially were just childcare, and it just kind of like kept the kids in a little cage while their moms worked for rich people. And they had preschool for rich kids. But you know what? Even though the preschool was only 2 hours, 3 hours a day, the men felt threatened by that. They were like, we don't want our wives to have 2 hours of freedom. They might think or something. Yeah. So they got rid of it. So that's why this is why you don't have the reason why people are like, well, why don't we have universal child care? That's because they don't want to pay money. No. The reason they don't have universal child care, the reason why they have this weird situation where even like preschool for like middle class women are only 2 hours and they make you pay a whole bunch of money, it's because they don't want women to be able to have any free time to be able to think. That's why the whole homeschooling BS. Oh, you can homeschool and then you could have 20 kids. Then you'll never be able to do anything but just serve men and children for the rest of your
Yeah.
life. And I have no
No, and
idea what that point was, but
that's the whole idea in those communities that do things like that. That's to isolate the women and children and to indoctrinate like they call like United States public schools indoctrination. Like, please give me a fucking break. Okay, you're indoctrinating your children in homeschool. Like, if you're using a religious-based homeschooling program, you're indoctrinating your children.
yeah, and I think the thing is that it's just so interesting is that women have a right to the city, and whether it be the exurbs and you're poor and you can't live next to public transit, or you're in the suburbs and your husband takes your car, so again you have no access to transportation, you're still trapped. Women have a right to the city. In regards to Henri Lefebvre, when we talk about space as a means of production, space is also because of it's a means of production, it's a way to control people. And everyone has a right to the city. And that includes women. That includes all of us, whether, regardless if Kimberly wants to be in East Orange, if I want to be in like, suburbia, Bloomfield, whatever, we both have a right to make these choices. And we don't seem to have this right. I mean, it's like this what they call it, de facto oppression where I always get the de facto de jure confused, but you know what I mean. Like it's not officially on law on the books, but yeah, it is a thing where essentially you get to a point where a lot of times women will move somewhere and they never leave the house because they're just kind of like, well, I don't belong here. I can't find any friends. I'm not going to leave the house. And it's like, I mean, that's the whole thing. And I know that it's probably like very weird for people to have a conversation, but it's like, you know, this is all part of why we're in the situation that we're in right now in regards to public transit, in regards to the Anthropocene, in regards to, the climate crisis, because we want to control people by where we put them in our space, in our geography. When we had New York and we had like this urban center and you had all this public transit, they didn't like the fact that people were not only getting to know people of different cultural groups, women were able to freely move around. They're like, oh, if you're like a good woman, kind of like probably like your grandmother, like when your mom like moved from the Bronx, they're like, oh, we're going to turn you into a respectable person. You're going to move to like the rural, like not even the suburb. You're going to move to rural America, and like me, your kids will be able to play in the playground and be with respectable children, you know. And I don't, they're not even probably know what that meant, like they weren't even probably thinking like, oh, we're getting away from these people. But it's like this weird thing. I've been reading this book called the United States, no, Americans Against Urbanism or Against the City. And it's just really interesting how, you know, this whole back to the land, back to suburbia, it was all about control of people who were not rich, who were not men. Um, and it does matter. It does really impact us. And it's, we wouldn't have the suburbia if it wasn't for this idea that we need to protect the women or actually encage the women, imprison the women.
No, you're absolutely right. Like that's what suburbs do. Suburbs entrap women into, perfect little 3 square mile neighborhoods.
And then they do things like, they have little hobbies like, we shouldn't spray for mosquitoes. Anyway, I'm always making friends. Um, I'm very allergic to mosquitoes, and this is why I'm like I'm making these jokes. But keep in mind, I'm very allergic to mosquitoes. So I mean, I'm gonna say like I have a suggested reading list for our listeners who want to explore this area more. Leslie Kearns, Feminist City, Dolores Hayden, who I actually do a lot of I've done a lot of work research on. Dolores Hayden, Redesigning the American Dream, Rebecca Solnit, Wanderlust, Bell Hooks, Belonging, Doreen Massey, Space, Place, and Gender, and Janet Wolfe, The Invisible Flanneuse. Um, and hopefully one day my book will be in there. But it's like weird. Every time it's like this talking about urbanism or like economics, they just randomly put like, oh, Bill Hooks in there, and I'm like, I don't know. Anyway, anyway, it's just another thing is she's not doing great stuff, but I feel like they don't want to be like, oh, look, it's just white women. We want to show that we're, you know what you could do? You could go outside the country. You could do that because
You could.
there are people writing in like Latin America. It would be in Spanish. There are people writing in Japan. There are people in France. You could do that, but you're like you want to stay American centric also. So that's also very good. Again, I always try to keep making friends. Anyway, so Kimberly, is there anything else you'd like to say today about this topic?
No, I think that people really just need to d don't be so like protective and territorial of cities and spaces and who you think should live there and who you think belongs there. Because we have the freedom of movement and we're allowed to move to places that suit us, that we think suit us. Um, and might suit us financially or what have you. Like, so don't be so judgmental about where people live or where you think they belong.
Exactly, especially if you don't live there yourself
Yeah.
anymore.
Yeah.
If you're gonna get touchy, you don't even live here anymore. Anyway, with that, please Spotify, Substack, YouTube. I don't know what else. We're on
Nope,
everything.
that's it. That's the three
That's
things
it.
that we're on. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, we are. Okay. So thank you so much. Oh, and check us out at Suburban Review. We have a domain now. Suburban Review. The other one will still cook up. They'll still, I have all these things. But that one's actually like, and I have D1011 at, if you want to email us, D1011 at Suburban Review. Anyway, this is Auto Asphyxiation. This is Lark.
And Kimberly,
All right. You have a good rest of your, whatever time listening to this, evening, morning, whatever.
thank you for listening.